Well, it's 8 years since I left, so there's been maybe you could say a few different permutations of Australian team. Obviously, Ricky played on as captain for a while, so that was one little section, and then Michael Clark's captaincy period, and of course now it has a new feel to it. Obviously, Steve Smith, well and truly, it's his tenure now as captain, and what I see is players, fighting for positions in the team. I don't see a lot of a stable, or there's not a lot of stability at the moment. And this isn't a criticism of those players or anything. It's just where the team's evolved to at the moment. It's sort of trying to, as a unit, settle and get that continuity and the consistency, both in results and in team selection. So it's hard to know what comes first, good results or good selection and so on. So and which one feeds off the other. But it is a team that's just trying to find a stable base, and it doesn't seem to be able to achieve that just at the moment. I think they've got to continue to just back their ability, believe in their own ability. You don't get to international cricket standard in any nation without being a talented individual player. So they've got to have belief that they have the skills and that they can go out there and mix it with the best. And then moving from an individual mindset to a collective team unit, it's got to be important that they're all working together. And around the edges of the Australian cricket team at the moment, there's a lot of discussion and conjecture and topics of past players and clashing personalities. The quicker that they can remove themselves from that, and I'm sure Darren Lehman and the leadership team are trying to do that, the more they can move away from that, the easier it will be to focus on the job at hand. Yeah, I don't know Steve in depth. I know him and I've spoken to him a lot, but I've never toured with him. I haven't played cricket with him. But so I'm judging from afar, and I'm judging from talking to those that are around him. And he looks to me like he's definitely the man to lead that team. He's going to learn as he goes. All leaders learn once they assume, full time the responsibility, and that's the challenge for him. But he looks to me like a young man that's hungry to do it. He loves the game. He's a good thinker of the game. I think he's the right guy, and I think it's just a challenging period that will help him learn the role of captain. It looks to me like David Warner has really embraced the role as vice captain, and he's thriving on that. It's really important that those two are working together and get through this sort of challenging time and lay the foundation to move ahead. It seems that opponents are saying the Australian team is now a toothless tiger compared to what it used to be, and I guess that's talking about the verbal stoushes on the field. It doesn't matter what you say on the field. It doesn't matter if you're abusing someone or being, smiling and nice. It means nothing unless you're backing it up with performance. And the Australian team, I think, are in a little phase where I said earlier they're just lacking a bit of confidence. So with that, they're maybe losing the desire to go out there and posture, and they're not feeling like that. It's what they should be doing. They're probably thinking they've just got to focus on the cricket, and that's fine. I think there's more speculated about sledging and about it being a tactic than actually what happens. We in our era, we didn't sit down and make a match plan of who we're going to sledge and what we're going to say. It's an emotional game out on the field, and things happen in the spur of the moment. Some players react better than others. Some are more balanced. Some are calm. Some aren't. And I guess that's the theatre of sport, the beauty of sport, that you get to watch the emotions. the great players withdraw the emotion from it and then rely on their skill, and that's what makes them succeed. So this current team at the moment, I don't know that they've said we're not sledging anymore. I just think it looks to me like they're just down on confidence, and that's not part of their mindset. Oh, don't put me down as an angel. I was involved in a few scraps, and but I definitely. But I didn't go out there with the intention to get into a fight, so to speak, because I always felt as soon as I said something, I felt really nervous that at the end of the day, if I'm batting and a bowler's coming in and I say something back, you can get out the very next ball, even if you're on 100, even if you're not. And or if I was wicket keeping, I thought, I shouldn't have said anything because, if I then drop a catch, I look the fool. So I got nervous whenever I got myself. But sometimes, as I say, you're so hyped up and the adrenaline's going and the emotions are flying around, you find yourself in a verbal stoush that you didn't plan for. But I didn't go out there with the intent. As I say, I don't think there's as much sledging in cricket as what people perceive or like to portray. That book, I tried to focus more looking internally than externally at others, and I wasn't on any campaign to talk about other people and their faults or discrepancies and issues, and so hopefully I've got that. But of course, there's always little things. And the other thing, that it was my recollection of my journey. So I absolutely can say if someone says, no, that happened something different, and I don't remember it that way, that's fine. That everyone's got their opinions and entitled to their memories, because we're talking about lengths of time that go back 10, 15, 20 years. So that was my recollection. And say on the Sachin one, I wrote in there about we felt, and I felt after a game that he could have been more sporting. He didn't come in and shake hands. And that captures a headline because Sachin's, he is the best player I played against and absolute highest echelon as legend of the game. India, passionate about it. So, but I spoke to Sachin straight after that. We spoke on the phone and he clarified to me about that situation. And I said, look, apologies if I got it wrong. That's what we felt at the time and what I wrote. And you clear the air. I think you confront it. If someone's offended by something or disappointed, as was the case through my career, just talk about it. So I don't sit here and think I should retract that statement. That was my recollection of that event at that time. And if that is the way I saw it conflicted with the way Sachin saw it, which it clearly did, but we've spoken about that. And I like that now I can put my hand on my heart and say the air is clear. I don't have any grudge about that. And everything read in full context shows you exactly what the meanings are. So I don't think of any, that's one little thing in a book that had a lot of details in it. I don't know that there's anyone around that I can't walk up to and say hello and have a friendly conversation with where they're thinking what you said was wrong. The IPL was really the pioneering event of all the T20 leagues around the world now. Every nation now has their own T20 league and has tried to almost copycat the IPL's version. Some have been done extremely well. The Big Bash in Australia is a fantastic league and really well run and administrated, well watched and participated by the viewing audience and the crowds. Some countries haven't got it right, maybe rushed into it and didn't have the foundation right and the backing to make it successful. So, but the IPL was an amazing time in my cricketing career. It was right at the end of my traditional career, if you like. So I went into that first tournament like everyone, having no idea what it was going to be like. Were we going to be serious? Was it going to be hit and giggle? But from that opening night when McCullum hit that 150, and it was game on, and everyone knew it was going. It's become more refined over every edition, but it was very serious, intense cricket. I thought I might play 1 year because I just retired, and I ended up playing 6. So it's a bit addictive. You wanted to be a part of it. But but yeah, it's a wonderful experience, and great to get to know so many other opponents a little bit more closely, and broaden that sort of friendship group that cricket already provides. T20 cricket and even one-day cricket, I think, still has a place. It's just about the volumes of cricket that I think need to be addressed. But they're very important to the game. I thought they're great. Experiment there, but leave Test cricket alone. That was my initial thoughts. Like, that's the masterpiece. You don't graffiti it. You just leave it. It's a pure game. Allow that to keep going. But I think I'm starting to probably understand and realise that for Test cricket to maintain any sort of standing in the current world that we live in, the lifestyles, the landscape that is around in a sporting sense and just in a general social sense, I think Test cricket may need to be changed somewhat, and whether it's day-night cricket, pink ball, or perhaps I know the discussions around about 4-day tests. Will that mean that the entertainment on offer is hastened? It's quickened up, and a day where a team bats for a whole day building up to prepare for the final onslaught may need to happen a little bit quicker, and that might mean be a bit more contemporary around what life and lifestyles are like at the moment. So, yeah, I'm very much more open-minded now about changes to the game to keep it contemporary and at front of mind for the current life that we lead. Yeah, my first tournament in 1998. It was a great experience. I'd not played here before, not been here before to this region. So all I remember there is Sachin Tendulkar batting. He scored 100 back-to-back hundreds in 2 one-days, one in the last round robin and then one in the final, I think on his birthday from memory. But it was a fascinating place to come and play cricket, totally different from anything that I'd grown up playing, totally different environment. And it's been wonderful to be able to come back, with such regularity, both in a playing sense and now in various roles and capacities, like this one as brand ambassador for the University of Wollongong and the Dubai campus here now. So, wonderful part of the world, and always really, really interesting to come here.